Hi, what is up? What is up? The latest issue of Shonen Jump is out, so we have four exciting new chapters of four exciting series to read, starting with the latest Boku no Hero Academia, chapter 248. On the cover, we see Aruka with Cami, that's her name, right? And Frappi, and the Draco lady, whose name eludes me. I guess this is also something that could be happening right now in reality, as I believe all of these people are still working under Dragon Lady in their latest work assignments. I think probably we're going to get covers like this for a while, kind of checking in on our other heroes. There was that wonderful spread a couple chapters ago where we kind of took really quick glances at not just the rest of the class, but just kind of almost everyone relevant in the story. And I think we're going to try to kind of keep up that what is everybody up to sensation. The last chapter ended with them confidently striding out the door, meeting a city full of villainy and crime and requiring heroism, ready to step it up. I'm hoping that we're going to get some kind of more episodic, more down-to-earth, heroic type adventures as we see them grow and kind of learn Endeavor's lessons before we really kick things back up with the villainous arcs. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. This one is called One Thing at a Time, which feels appropriate to what I was saying there about maybe something kind of more down-to-earth and episodic. But certainly doesn't give a sense of a super busy world with a whole lot of stuff going on. Or actually, it does, actually. You know what? It actually speaks to both. We have the super busy world. So many different plot threads happening. But we're going to focus on one thing at a time. Deku, definitely feeling impatient. Didn't receive my quirk until I was 14. Everybody was figuring out where and how far to run. I was only learning to crawl. First I learned full cowling as a way to control One For All. That's right, the spreading out of One For All across his entire body so that his individual body parts don't just explode every time he tries to unleash any sort of power. But then this next insane development, 6 more quirks flooding into his body after this mysterious flashback, generational crossing, weird quirk genetic tapping into mystic scene during the class versus A and B fight. The master of the power is quick. Cut the hidden runner. One step too slow. So it looks like this fire blast being put out by Endeavor, some other pro hero in Endeavor's association, actually catching the guy, and Deku and Bakugao unfortunately arriving too little too late. Extra time to fire up the gears in the winter. Did you notice, Bakugao? Ever notice something I couldn't? You're dying to point out. Yeah, this is extremely petty. I feel like probably all of Endeavor's other superheroes on his staff are like so tired and frustrated by these bratty kids that are way too big for their britches and always squabbling with each other. Every time he dashes forward, he shoots fire out of his feet. I don't know if you saw it, but it's like that jet burn move he used down in Kyushu. The condensed version that drove him forward. I need to realize this because I've got the same powers. Boosting his heat that high and at that speed requires delicate control. Did you just notice that? So basically, Todoroki is saying, I'm going to start trying to move like this too, right? I saw my dad doing this, and I know this is something similar to what you do to get around, your little propulsive explosions. Yeah, I guess this is also sort of in reference to normally Todoroki always just kind of skating around on ice. It seems like his kind of default using his quirk for more like utility type things, just kind of quality of life type things, he still leans heavily towards the ice power. But now kind of seeing how fire can be used for a lot of mobility type things as well. It's kind of interesting. This is what he's saying. I'm here to study under the hero Endeavor. I'm here to use you and upgrade from you, but not to follow you, not to respect you as a person. Let's see, one more thing. Main Street's over there. Okay, so they're gonna finish arresting this guy, taking him in. So they can run off after Endeavor in the next incident. Caught the escape route with flame blasts. Okay. So, yeah, he's gonna scout out ahead, cut off an escape route. The kids are gonna try to catch up, and here we can see Todoroki already using some fire in his propulsion. Pretty exciting. Lex picked up some of my slack in Kyushu, but generally Hiro has to be someone who can get any job done alone. Wondering, I did notice the glass villain had his own flunkies earlier. So petty! Really, coming from Bakugo, calling someone else petty. But it is quite petty that Endeavor mentioned that way back in Kyushu, that he just wanted to be sure that the kids knew he had those flunkies taken care of as well. The kids contributed, but they didn't have to. Bakugo, you said you want to know what you can't do. So you move at a decent speed for a rookie. You must realize you can't surpass me right now. It's harder in the winter. Too bad. Excuses don't matter when you show up late. This ain't school. There's more than grades at stake if you're slow. Whoa. The fact that he was listening to all that it was harder in the winter, that he's really taking this seriously, Endeavor. Much more seriously than I thought he would. I thought he'd be like a totally indifferent, all right, well, if you can keep up, I guess you can watch. But he's actually making notes. He's actually paying attention to the struggles of these kids. He's trying very hard, you know, and it's going to be difficult with his personality and stuff, but it seems like he can become quite a good teacher. We're talking lives in a classic truck stopping scene, a heroic classic from the very start, all the way back to Superman on Action Comics 17 or whatever, hoisting up the car. It's the inversion of the order that for such a long time cars became this transcendent force that were stronger than human beings, you know? Think about that. Like you can't stop a car as a human. And then this led to superheroes. Well, not this led to superheroes, but then when superheroes came about, it seems like so many heroics kind of focused in on the transcendence of man once again above cars. A human being can stop a car again. Excuse me. It's just interesting to me how many times I've seen this scene of stopping a truck. And if, you know, you don't stop the truck, then somebody gets isekai'd. You go to another world. Shoto Bakugo, giving you two the same assignment. Build up and release. Condense your power. Unleash max output for just a second, or focus your power. First pick one or the other. Control over and over again until you don't need to think about it. Deku's like always so genuinely excited about these things. But he's not in the right crowd. He's not with Ida and Aruka and his friends that can get just as excited as him. Right there with both tasks. Focusing your fire since you control the shape of your ice. That's the same idea. Max your output for a second. Right, how about doing it subconsciously? Look how long I can with Air Force or something to focus. Work on Air Force or whatever until it becomes second nature. Sure. What about parallel processes? Everyone out there does it every day, even subconsciously. Guy down there, the one yawning. You woke up one day knowing how to drive. Yeah, driving is tough. There's a lot of things going on with driving. Practice all that one thing at a time until you didn't have to think about it anymore. You know, two processes at once subconsciously. Once you've got that down, throw in another thing. Yeah, this is all really good advice. Not just for quirk training, not just for driving, but for really anything. Any task that seems overwhelming and intimidating typically can be broken down into just a million very, very small tasks. or maybe more realistically, 1,000 medium-sized tasks. And each one of those medium-sized tasks probably isn't actually all that intimidating by itself. And even if there are some, there's probably 900 plus others that actually aren't so terrifying that you can kind of go at. And once you're dealing with some of them, once you're getting some of them to the point where it's subconscious, where it doesn't actually even intrude upon your conscious mind, let alone cause you acute worry and distress, then you'll be so much better equipped to deal with the aspects of the problem that actually are that intimidating, that actually are duly giving you anxiety. Excuse me. Yeah, you can build this foundation. This is nice. This is good. This is so much more teaching than I thought I would get from Endeavor. And yet it still feels infused with his personality. It still has that kind of distance that he can't quite get to the level of encouragement or compliments or, you know, other nice things that it's nice to have to kind of validate and motivate you. But the information there, the diligence in providing information that he thinks will be genuinely helpful is coming through. Exceptions to that rule, but for everyone else, we got to build up to it slowly. This is the only way I know how. This is the first time that Muscle Mode All Might has appeared in a long, long time. I like that it went from a character whom we saw frequently, that we saw fight, that we interacted with, you know, the muscle-bound form. The withered form, of course, we still know and love. But that muscle-bound form now exists purely as the symbol of peace, purely symbolically, purely as just this kind of icon that can be recalled in special moments like this, and that carries a whole lot of weight in doing so because of that infrequentness. Practicing it over and over again out here in the field is going to give you a totally different experience from what you get in school. Learned a lot in the classroom, but here at my side in the ultimate training environment is where those lessons will really take root in you. All Might taught me all sorts of things. Attending UA has already given me plenty of good experience. How fast this all happened has made my head spin at times. Even now, I can't handle more. One thing at a time. Yeah. It's okay to mess up. Succeed or fail, it ain't like you three have the slightest impact on my work. This is, I think, in a nutshell, what I think is interesting about this Endeavor teaching dynamic, right? Like, it's out of arrogance and pettiness that he can say, it's not like you'll have any impact on it. Succeed or fail, it doesn't matter. I'm the one doing 99.99999% of the work here, so, you know, relax. So he needs to put in that information. He needs to make sure that their hierarchy is clear, that these kids aren't getting too arrogant or anything. That's one thing that is important to him because of his pettiness in this regard. But the thrust of his message, like that kind of coding needs to apply because it's relevant here to what he's saying. But what he's trying to say is actually quite a nice thing. It's telling the kids, this is probably for your benefit if you just kind of relax and don't worry about messing up. You'll be able to experiment and push yourself a lot farther that way. So it's nice. The overall message, I guess, is nice, but the way he delivers it, he just can't help. Okay, 1 week later. Calling Todoroki's sister. Work with Shota. Well, his friends are there too. Why didn't you tell me? I flipped it the second I heard. School's starting up again soon, so I won't have nearly as much free time. So why don't you bring them home with you today? I'll whip up a big dinner for everyone. Okay, so this is Todoroki's older sister, right? Who seems like she gets along quite well with Endeavor. And now we're going to have an Ozu-style intense family drama with lots of tension and unresolved things in the air, and a long family history of things left unsaid that will lead to, oh, doesn't that sound just like the most fun chapter imaginable? We will see you then next week. Should be fun or something. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like I'm maybe having the right mindset that we're gonna take a little while to get back to the Meta Liberation Army stuff. And I think this kind of mixture of some training lessons, some character development of Endeavor and of the relationship between Endeavor and Todoroki, and then some just good old-fashioned heroic action to break all of that up. Not against major supervillains with world-ending schemes, but, you know, with trunks, hidden runs, kind of down-to-earth stuff. I like it. A nice change of pace. So I hope we kind of continue in that mode. See you next week.